Next, we have Shri T.S. Krishna Kumar, ITI. Srimati G. Shanta Rani, ITI. Srimati Padmini Deendayalan, ITI.
Next, we have the awards for excellence in service during the year. I once again request our Honorable Chief Guest, Thiru R.N. Ravi, to hand over the awards to the officers and officials of the Income Tax Department. First, we have Shri V. Janardhanan, Additional DIT Investigation. Next, we have Shri V. Sayamshi Vardhan, DDIT Investigation. Now we have Shri Rojit Jones, DCIT. Next, we have Srimati B. Malati, DDIT Investigation. Next, we have Shri Balaji Seturamalingam, ADIT Investigation. Now we have Shri Paramasivam, ACIT. Next, we have Shri M. Madan Kumar, ITI. Next, we have Shri Sagar Halder, ITI. Next, it's a team award for team administration. On behalf of team administration, Sri Sendil Prabhu, DCIT, is collecting the award. Next, again team category, team coordination, Shri N. Srinath, Senior TA, is collecting the award on behalf of it.
For the last category of award winners today, we have Certificate for Excellence in Sports. Firstly, we have Ms. R. Nitya for Athletics. Shri R. Karthikeshwar for Bodybuilding. Shri G. Krishna Prasad for Badminton. Ms. P. Nandita for Chess. Ms. Shika Gautam for Badminton. Ms. Nayana James in the category of long jump, and Sri Chirag Bareta in the category of badminton are also the awardees of the Certificate of Excellence, but they are not present today to collect their awards. Thank you, sir. Today's chief guest, the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Thiru R.N. Ravi, has an illustrious career spanning decades with a rich and diverse experience in State Police, Central Bureau of Investigation, and Intelligence Bureau. Sir has served as the Governor of Nagaland before being appointed as the Governor of Tamil Nadu in September 2021. It is an honor to have you here, sir. Now, I request our chief guest, the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri R.N. Ravi, to kindly address the gathering. Please, sir.
Respected Sri Sunil Mathur, Principal Chief Commissioner, Income Tax, Sri Krishna Murari, Director General of Income Tax Investigation, members of the Income Tax family, veterans of the Income Tax, senior officers of civil and military, various tribunals, esteemed taxpayers, distinguished invitees, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, on this 165th anniversary of this day, I extend my warmest greetings and best wishes to all of you. We know that tax revenue is crucial to the existence of a state. You can keep talking about it endlessly. It is the life blood. Without it, a state cannot exist. It's like fuel to an engine. Short of it, it remains dead and inert. Such is the importance of tax revenue that all through our civilization people have deliberated about it, and we mentioned, some of the speakers before mentioned about Chanakya. Even before, there were people who have, because after ours is perhaps the longest living civilization. So over the time, from time to time, several people have appeared to streamline the taxation system. We also heard in the presentation how there has been a quantum jump in both number of taxpayers, almost has doubled, and tax collection, the revenue, it seems it's almost 300% jump in the last 10 years. When we look at the increase in the tax base, taxpayers' numbers, and tax collection, in the past there has been incremental growth. For example, if we take 10, 11, what it was at the time, 5 years later, it was about 50% increase. So in 5 years, about 50% increase. In the last 10 years, it's 200% in the tax base and 300% in the tax revenue collection. How this magic happened? Of course, the obvious answer is that our tax administration has become more efficient. The process has been simplified. Our approach to taxpayers had changed, had become more friendly. And that is leading to greater tax compliance. But is it all, or there is something more to it? If you look at the last 10 years, there has been incredible revolutionary transformation in all walks of life. Simple. Take this cleanliness, toilets, open defecation. In 2014, we had a dubious distinction of almost about 60% of our people going for open defecation. And whenever somebody talked about it, he used to be dismissed, saying it is a cultural issue, you can't do anything about it. When we look at the number of startups, with less than 400, we have gone over 125,000, with over 115 of them unicorn. This all happened in 10 years. We know that when we became independent, our economy was the 6th largest in the world. And in 2014, it slipped down to 11th. Now we have come to the 5th. So the trend reversed significantly to an extent that we have improved so significantly. And we all know that we are all poised to be the number 3rd largest. In the field of science and technology, in every field, India is considered as one among the front-ranking countries in the world. How all these transformations have been happening? And when we talk about this quantum jump in our tax collection, I would like to draw your attention to the nuances of it, what happened, to have the context, to have a better appreciation of your role, so that you know what exactly we are doing. It may sound as if it is an absurd question. What is this man talking about? As if we don't know what we are doing. Yes, even before, we had smart officers, brilliant officers. It's not that they were incompetent. Our veterans also did wonderful work in the past. They were capable leaders, all wished well for the country. But yet, this big country, large country, while we kept fighting poverty, illiteracy, sickness, homelessness, lack of connectivity, we kept building. And yet, 10 years back in 2014, we remained perhaps a country which was home to the largest number of sick, poor, illiterate, and ill-connected. Why? We kept building. We kept building incrementally, but the problems also kept multiplying. And problems outpaced us. The countries which were far behind us, they left us far behind. Something happened in 2014, and that reversed the trend, And we become so optimistic today, so filled with confidence, self-confidence, the confidence that we can do it. Given the challenge, we will achieve it. Friends, though I hate to quote anyone from outside the country, because we have so much of talent and wealth, knowledge within our own. But to understand what happened in 2014, I would like to draw your attention to one editorial written by Guardian, the iconic British newspaper, on 18th of May 2014. 18th of May 2014, editorial of Guardian. It is available on the net. You can click it and see, you can read it. The day Prime Minister Narendra Modi took over as the Prime Minister of this country. The editorial begins like this, and I am quoting its word, it's not my word. Today, 18 May 2014, may as well go down the history as the day when finally Britain left India. It continues. The long period, the long era after British left physically, the structure of power was not greatly different from those which British used to rule India. And so, it continues, the governance till then was continuation of the British Raj by other means. Now, when it comes to the tax administration, let us look at it 165 years of journey. It's a long journey, and it passed through, broadly speaking, conceptually, thematically, through three phases. Taxation was there even before 1860. The company was ruling, they were also collecting revenue. But after 1857, when the British took over administration directly, they streamlined the tax collection. That was a colonial interest. The tax was to fulfill the colonial interest. And they did their best to exploit all possible sources to the maximum to collect the tax. And we need not be very proud of that. Taxation was there even before. But they started collecting the taxes for their interest, to run the administration here and to transfer the wealth. Because the transfer of wealth was a British policy. After 1757, after the Battle of Plassey, when companies captured a territory, and when the question came whether the company should administer, a trading company should administer this country also, or should it be handed over to the British government, the Robert Clive, who was the person in Bengal who wrote a letter asking that it should be taken over by the British government. And the British government, after due deliberation, realized that it was not wise thing for them to take over directly. They let the company continue, and they started controlling the company from behind, with an objective to make the empire as enduring as possible and transfer of wealth from India as speedily as possible to England. These are all documents. And with that, they started. And the 1860 was a continuation of that. Then came the end of the colonial period. We became independent. During the colonial period, the tax collectors viewed people with suspicion. Of course, they were ruling over us. They viewed every Indian with suspicion. The suspicion was the hallmark in the gene of the administration, colonial administration. When we became independent, that legacy continued. We continued suspecting the people. And we added one more twist to it. And the twist was an external ideology, communism, and its cousin, socialism. Any person with wealth was a thief, viewed with suspicion. Poverty was made virtue. We kept talking about removing poverty. We kept collecting the taxes from those who had the money, viewing them with suspicion that he must be stealing money. He is not being fair. He is not being honest. What happened in 2014? All these smart people, all these brilliant, our leaders, they did what they thought was the right thing to do. But what changed in 2014 with Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming was an Indian vision for India. Bharatiya Drishti. In Bharatiya Drishti, in Indian vision, we look at the country as a family, as a parivar, kutumbam. Taxation in the past, if you look at the ancient India before colonization and invasion, everyone had certain responsibility. King had certain responsibility for which they needed tax. And the villages had their own collective responsibility for which they had assets, community assets through which they used to manage. Run the educational institutions, run the health clinic, run the community affairs. It was all there. Economy was growing. Until the beginning of 19th century, India was the largest economy in the world. It's a matter of record. So it was not that the taxation was not there. But then, it was based on an understanding that we are all part of a family. And it is our responsibility to give our whatever the best for the community. That is why in the villages, some of the elder gentlemen would remember, people who used to have wealth, of course it was not a monetized like currency, they had a different form. People used to, in the time of need, they used to come get the food grain free. You go to Sri Rangam, the largest living temple in Tamil Nadu perhaps, and you see the food granary there. In time of famine, in time of food scarcity, people used to come and collect the food from there free. Because the collection was not meant for that institution or that person or that individual. There is a tradition now, which is of course fading, in the tribal areas of the northeast, where every village chief, after a few years, is supposed to dispose all his wealth by holding community feast. Wealth was not considered and entirely for the good of the private individual or the family. This was the Bharatiya way of looking at things, Indian way of looking at things. It was not based on a suspicion on hiding. And what happened in 2014 was the change in this outlook. Trust in the people. Faith in the people. If India today became from 11th to the 5th largest economy, it is not because of government. If there are 125,000 startups today, it's not because of government. And if we are collecting so much of tax today, it is not because of government. Government has a role as a catalyst, but it is popular participation. If India became open defecation free within 5 years, every house built a toilet, it's not that the government went and built toilets in every house. How do you look at your people? Do you trust them? Do you feel that yes, a person who, we started, wealth creators were looked upon, down upon with suspicion. For the first time, the people who created, who were industrialists, those who were creating wealth, they got a dignified name. They are wealth creators. All those people who create wealth, they don't sleep the wealth on a pillow and sleep over that. It goes. It ends up improving the lives of large number of people. It is in circulation. We all know that. This colonial outlook, and that is why when the Panch Pran, when the Prime Minister said, 5 resolve, one of the resolve was decolonization of mind. And it was not something that Prime Minister said for the first time. The same thing was said by Mahatma Gandhi on 15th of August 1947. When 15th of August 1947, when the country was celebrating independence, Mahatma Gandhi was sulking, sitting, somber mood. Not sulking, I won't use the word, but he was very serious mood sitting in a Bhangi colony, in a Dalit colony. And when some media people approached him, asked him, why are you not happy? You don't seem to be very happy and jubilant about it. The whole country is. Mahatma Gandhi said, British have left us only physically, they are still in our mind. And that is why we continued celebrating everything about the British and British legacy without reorienting our thought to ourselves. Even in our military, we fought many wars. But the wars that we fought during the British time was wars against our own people or people who were colonized elsewhere. Our people were used to fight them. We don't have to be very proud of those wars. And that's why War Memorial was built, that after we became independent, the valor of our soldiers. We must be proud of them. 2 days later, we are coming to Kargil Divas. It's a day of pride for all Indian. That so many of our soldiers gave their life to defend not only our territorial integrity, but to keep the head of India, Republic of India, high. It's a matter of pride, our own. And so, the qualitative improvement that we are seeing is this essentially, the spirit is, we don't look at the taxpayer with suspicion. Of course, any society there are rules. Rules have, if someone violates the rule, action has to be taken. But the primary driver is suspicion, then it becomes a problem. Then the suspicion breeds suspicion. We keep suspecting mutually. The person that the wealth creator, the taxpayer will keep evading, and we keep running after. The whole change of outlook, what do we call Bharatiya Drishti. We need to understand, we need to appreciate what this country is. What are the ethos? Unfortunately, these have not been taught in our textbook. And in fact, I often tell in my interactions that as a class 6 student, we used to have a question in our school. Write down the benefits, what are the benefits of British rule? And we used to write down English language, judiciary, railway, as if we didn't know that we didn't have the language. As if we had absolutely chaos. These were all ingrained in us. And it remains ingrained even today. Even today we have people who are apologists of the colonial rulers. That is where someone tells you that Indians are someone, they are like Chinese, they are Africans, they are like Arabs. This non-Indian vision of India, which has created the problems. And with that, with the change, that we look at our country with pride as a family. A problem in any part of it, as I said in the beginning, that we continued resolving the problems of poverty, problems of sickness, illiteracy, and problem kept multiplying because we kept approaching the problem incrementally. When you have a family, when you have a large family, if 2-3 persons are sick, you don't say that, no, I will treat one and I will ignore the other. These problems have to be addressed holistically. That is why 250 million people have been pulled out of multidimensional poverty in the last 10 years because of measures. If the schools have to be open, literacy has to be provided, it has to be provided to all. If health care has to be given, it has to be given to all, irrespective of where the person is. There is no question of, I will give it to the X number, and next year I will do the X plus 2. No, it has to be done to all. Our vision cannot be bound by 5 years and say that, look, this is our resource limitation. This country has enormous resources, enormous potential resources. All that we need to do is we harness them. And that is what our young people are doing today. Building the positive force in the society. Positive force in the society. Look at these Padma Awards. Till 10 years back, who were getting the Padma Awards? Those who were moving in the corridors of power. Influential, there used to be, people used to lobby for it. Today, who are being recognized? Real, unsung heroes of the society. A barefoot lady of Bastar, Chhattisgarh, who has planted several lakhs trees. She lives that. A poor man, unknown man, whose life mission has been to pick up unclaimed bodies and do the cremations. Positive force. We have enormous positive force in us, in our society. Look, 2022. Prime Minister said that by 2025, our country must be TB free. People thought initially that how could he do that? Because to be TB free is not just medicines. You can distribute medicines at your primary health centers. But that's not enough. It needs nutrition, sustained nutrition for the person to come out of it. And who can do it? Can government do it? No. Harness the people's power. And then Prime Minister gave a call, Nikshay Mitra. Nikshay means eradication of TB. Kshay is TB. Mitra. Let people volunteer and own up. Some, 1, 2, 3, such patients and take up the responsibility that, okay, I will provide regular, small money for the person's nutrition. And within no time, we had millions of Nikshay Mitra in our country. This shows goodness, inherent goodness in our society. When Prime Minister gave a call for this people with this cooking gas, to provide cooking gas to those who are deprived, where do you get the money? So he gave a call, those who can afford, can we give up our subsidy? And immediately millions of people, they forgo their subsidy. There is enormous goodness in our society among our people. We need to trust, we need to tap, we need to harness. And this is precisely being done today. So you all, in the whole tax administration, tax collector, taxpayer and taxes. Tax collectors, you are doing a great service to the nation. Great service to the society. Your money is not just building the nations and meeting the welfare needs and all the needs that the state needs to fulfill of its citizenry. But the way you are doing it, your approach to the taxpayer is building the positive force in the society. We need to harness that. We are a country of 1.4 billion. Imagine the strength that we have. If we can build on the positive force, nothing is impossible. And all that is happening today, all the incredible targets that we are achieving today is primarily because of this. Tapping, waking up the positive, latent, sleeping, positive force in our society and harnessing them. That is why every mission that starts from Delhi, the Jan Bhagidari, people's participation. Only with people's and people's participation alone that any project will succeed. Otherwise, we'll keep building projects on the paper, keep achieving something and giving excuses that, okay, these are the reasons we didn't do. You can always find enough excuses. People's good sense will grow if we start trusting each other. And that is what is paying us the dividend. And that is what will continue paying us the dividend in future and building this country. What is its destiny? This country, just merely about 250 years, till, as I said, till the beginning of 19th century, we were the number one economy in the world. There is no reason why we can't be. With that objective, when we are moving forward towards a Viksit Bharat, a developed Bharat, in the next 23, 24 years, that by the time we celebrate the centenary of our independence, we all say with pride, look, here we are, India has arrived. And India has arrived not for itself, but for the good of the world. This is what we are showing to the world in every field. That sense of familyhood we have displayed in COVID period. India was the only country, this is the only country which gave away vaccines and medicines free of cost to more than 100 countries in the world, needy countries. No other country did that. Because this is what we are. This is our inherent goodness. So when India rises, the world feels happy. World develops expectations. And it is our job to fulfill that. And you, all these members of the Aikar family, you must realize you are not just collecting tax. You are building the nation not only through your revenue that you collect, but also to waking up the latent goodness in our society by the way you deal with the taxpayers, deal with the people. This is the beauty of it. I know you will have many glorious anniversaries, endless glorious anniversaries. Our country is there to prosper, and you are there, the engine of that prosperity. I wish all of you the very best. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for those guiding words of wisdom. As we proceed towards the end of today's event, I request Shri Krishna Murari, Director General of Income Tax Investigation, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening. So, Malai Vanakam, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri R.N. Ravi sir, senior officers from the department and officers from central and state governments, distinguished taxpayers, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored and privileged to propose the vote of thanks on this special occasion. It is a great honor to all of us to have Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri R.N. Ravi sir, as our chief guest in our income tax day celebration. On behalf of the Aikar Parivar, I express our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Governor Shri R.N. Ravi sir for his gracious presence, for having spared his valuable to the economy, society and the nation building. Thank you, sir, for acknowledging the steps taken by the department in embracing the new technology and data analytics in tax administration, leading to curbing the menace of the black money. We assure you, sir, that we will continue to strive for providing best service